Hi everyone, good morning. So today we are again going to talk about another important case which is concerning copyrightability of Dabus. Now this is a very interesting case called Thaler versus Perlmutter. So now this was basically discussed in the United States, and its decision was given by the Supreme Court on March 2nd, 2026. And in this case, to give a little background about Thaler, Dr. Stephen Thaler. So he is basically a computer scientist who came up with a creativity machine, which is basically called Dabus. So what is Dabus? Dabus is basically a device for automated bootstrapping of unified science. That is the full form of Dabus. It's a creativity machine which basically allows for creation of visual imagery, which is for example which created a recent entrance to paradise. So a visual imagery which is also called a recent entrance to paradise. Now this imagery which it created was completely based on user prompts which were given to it, and it was also based on its own creativity or its own processing that it did to create this visual strip. So now Dr. Stephen Thaler wants to secure an authorship over this particular visual imagery. So what he has suggested is that Dabus should be the author of this particular visual imagery, and he can be considered as owner of the creative machine, that is Dabus, because he has provided the prompts to this creativity machine, that is Dabus, and Dabus, being the author, has generated these outputs or these results. So it is an generative AI system or a generated AI system, which, like I talked about earlier also, when given a user prompt, can generate us an AI output or a generative mimicry, which can then be can be claimed, or which can then be set up for claiming authorship or inventorship or ownership. So now in the United States, however, this application did not hold good at the district court level, and again the Court of Appeals in the United States upheld the district court's decision, saying that this cannot hold good for authorship or ownership. And again, when it went to the Supreme Court, it upheld the district court's decision and rejected the claim of Dr. Thaler. So now it is being contested in the Delhi High Court in India also. So this is a very important case which has to be closely followed, because can we give inventorship rights to a machine when it comes to patent law? This is the dispute which is going on in India. Already in the US, a copyright decision has already been decided on this case, which is what I first talked about. So that is where the court had completely declined that no authorship or ownership can be given to Dr. Stephen Thaler or the Dabus machine. So now UK, however, has certain relaxed rules by which they are permitting Dr. Stephen Thaler to file for a claim of authorship over this particular Stephen Thaler to claim for ownership over the machine, and Dabus to claim for authorship over this particular imagery. But for a individual to claim authorship or ownership over something, that person needs to be a human. So now, because for several reasons, first of all, you need that particular person to put in some human intellect or creativity. That individual also should be capable of doing a number of actions, manual actions, which only a human can do. So either you define to what extent the human has contributed and to what extent the AI has contributed, so that inventorship, authorship or ownership can be granted to that extent of human contribution, and the AI part can be neglected. But if you're completely relying on the AI contribution, then you might not get this kind of authorship rights or inventorship rights when it comes to patents as well. So now they have also relied upon certain rules and provisions which are there in the legislation, and they have said US courts have very strictly said that without any transformativeness, without any creativity, or without any human contribution, it is a dead end. This case is a complete dead end and we cannot give it any such rights. And the same thing was observed in another case called Allen versus Perlmutter. So in Allen versus Perlmutter, about 600 iterative user prompts were fed into that particular machine. So it was said that when the human is capable of giving so many iterative prompts in the sense they are selecting certain images, they are organizing, arranging these images. So there is some creativity which is being given as an input even by humans. So when that is being done by humans, that selection, organization, arrangement, and then that is fed as a prompt to these machine algorithms, and then the machine is generating an output. Of course there is human creativity involved. So this is how the owner of this machine, that is Dr. Thaler, has been arguing, or any other owner of their respective AI machines have been arguing that there is creativity that exists in the output. But however, courts have held on to their stance that there is no distinction that they can clearly make out between the AI's contribution and the human's efforts. So therefore it becomes a very weak case in order for them to provide authorship, or in order to provide inventorship when it comes to patents. And also Dr. Stephen Thaler was trying to argue that it could be a work made for hire. That is, they are hiring a particular machine. That machine or a tool is basically doing that work for a particular purpose, and once the purpose ends, they are just claiming for authorship or ownership over the machine, and the machine is claiming for authorship over that particular work for that set period of time, or for that particular work alone. So it is like the machine is being hired by that particular owner for a certain period of time. It is executing that particular work for a set period of time, and once the work is completed, there is just an output which is a creative output, and only it is claiming rights over that particular creative output. Now there is another test which is there called the significant human input test. This was seen in the case of Zarya of Dawn. So this is an important test to remember, because in the Zarya of Dawn case, again there was visual imagery. Basically there are playbooks which are made for kids, and these playbooks basically had AI generated content in them. So there was some human creativity, but then how much, to what extent was again very debatable. So while countries like, or jurisdictions like UK are relaxing the parameters for granting an ownership or authorship, there are jurisdictions like US and India which are setting very high standards of authorship or inventorship, which is to be granted in such cases. So therefore these two are very important cases to be tracked and observed, and how this is going to completely sort of bring about a change in the AI space when it comes to copyright as well as patents is something to be tracked in this particular area when it comes to authorship as well as inventorship. So we will also explore more cases like this. So in the meantime, I will continue my research and you can do the same. So let me know if you're interested in exploring more such cases related to AI and IP law, and I will come up with more such cases. If you have any comments, any queries, or any other interesting remarks on this particular case, please put it down in the comment section and I will get back to you soon. Thank you.